So ahead of the Dengeki live stream next week, which will likely show a bit more of Kuronoki Seki, we actually got a very quick look at the much anticipated new battle system that Falcom has decided to make, which would be the Zifa system. And now we finally get a brief look at how this works. So I'll go ahead and go over what they showed us, and then I'll kind of talk about what my thoughts are, and probably how it'll operate. So let's go ahead and look at all this stuff. Okay, so from top to bottom on the left side, first off, we got the characters. They're very likely doing their craft animation. And then below, it looks like more character introduction. And then as far as for the right side, we get a little bit more detail on Calvard, as well as, I think these two down here are new images of the of Calvard. And the capital is probably going to be called like Edith or something, but I'll save that stuff for next time. What we're here for is the battle system. So on the next page, here we go. So what it's basically saying here is that the new system that they're going to be using for this game is called the Zifa system, which allows users to switch from their new combat style, which would be the action battle style, in their combat system, which is, basically what we used in the previous games. So on the left side, it's basically talking about field movement. So when you want to engage in combat, or if you want to avoid combat, it's going to work as a seamless transition. Let's think FF7 Remake, obviously. I think that's the best comparison for this. If you want to fight an enemy, just go up to it, whack it, you'll immediately start fighting. If you happen to engage an enemy, or an enemy engages you and you want to run away, just run away. So we can finally start talking about the action style combat a little bit. When combat starts, based on this picture, it looks pretty self-explanatory. We'll be doing, spamming circle to do normal attacks. Obviously, we'll be able to do crafts. We'll be able to do arts as normal, as well as having freedom of movement and dodging, of course. So these panels over here, the top one, obviously, she's casting arts. But on the bottom two here, this is kind of detailing the dodge aspect or evasion aspect of the action style combat. You'll be able to just dodge an attack, hopefully completely dodge it rather, because I know in FF7 Remake, even if you dodged, technically sometimes you still get hit, right? But hopefully you can at least completely dodge an attack here. Now they did mention that when you're doing the action style combat, the people that you aren't controlling are actually completely automated. Now this is just a personal preference of mine, but I at least like some form of moderate control over my AI when I'm controlling a singular person. But they did say, you can switch seamlessly between people, so there's that. However, AI is very generally stupid in these kind of games, so it's really kind of hard to count on them. But we'll see how it is. As far as the action combat, there isn't much to say here. As of right now, based off these pictures alone, it doesn't really seem too complicated. I think the only difference here is that they added these new things called the S boost, which is in the top left corner right here. Now what I think an S boost is I think it's like some form of an amplifier. I think like you can increase your damage or decrease damage taken, something like that. That's what I think, but don't quote me on that. That's just what I feel. But I think there isn't really much else to go off of right now. But anyways, now we can talk a little bit more about the command system. But before I talk about this, I believe this game is meant to be played at least the majority of the time under action style combat. Kondo has repeatedly said that, turn-based is a little slow. They were hoping to at least go for something a little more fast-paced. I think they only kept this in to keep the longtime fans happy, the ones who actually really like turn-based combat, like myself. But I'm pretty certain this game is supposed to be played under action style combat. Now, as far as differences to this compared to the previous games, I think based on what they're showing here is it'll basically operate the same way as the previous games. However, the only difference is the new S boost thing, and they're apparently giving you freedom of movement, for strategic purposes, which is really cool. So I think that'll be a nice little touch to it, at least keep it fresh. Now the difference here is for under command, there's this new tool called Shard Deploy. We're not really too certain what that is yet. We'll kind of have to see it in action. So I think that's the basic idea of how the combat system is going to work. I'm definitely can't wait to see how this operates in real time, or see it in action rather. And one thing's for sure, they are definitely going to retain their S-crafts and S-breaks, aspect of the game. As you can see here, they're doing their crafts, but that's basically it, really. I'm super looking forward to next week, seeing what they show. We'll probably talk more about that next time. So thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time.